Andrew Clennell, he's in Rio for us. Andrew, what more do we know about this third meeting? If they didn't discuss Trump directly, what did they discuss?
Yeah, well, Anthony Albanese says they didn't discuss Donald Trump. President Xi is actually the biggest figure at this summit, given that Donald Trump is not here. And he met Keir Starmer before Anthony Albanese. So Anthony Albanese took him on in some hard issues, but not in his opening statement. That was a friendly one. Keir Starmer took him on in some hard issues in his opening remarks before the cameras, and the British journalists were ushered out. I was actually at the bilat, the opening remarks for Xi and Albanese, and it was all polite. But Anthony Albanese has subsequently said in his press conference that he did raise issues like Taiwan, the detention of young Heng Jun, the tough issues. He just didn't do it in front of the cameras. But what did surprise me are the answers to these questions, one from me, that Donald Trump, the new US administration, trade tariffs, the Prime Minister says they didn't even come up in the meeting.
With President Xi, did you sort of speak either directly or indirectly about Donald Trump's tariff plans, and you sort of agreed position that they're not a good idea? Did that come up?
No.
At all? No, nothing.
Was there any discussion at all about the Trump administration as such, whether, because you said you were about regional and international peace, did that come up, what the Trump administration might mean for that?
No.
All right, so here's the tough issues he raised.
Well, I've said we will disagree where we must, and we do disagree on a range of issues. We have different political systems. I raised the issues of human rights. I raised Taiwan. I raised cyber. I raised the supply of assets to Russia. I raised the ICBM missile test that I'd previously raised as well with the Chinese Premier. So we raised issues that matter to us, to Australia.
It's an interesting little diplomatic trick, isn't it? Here's the friendly remarks for the camera. Now here's a statement with all the stuff we hate that you're doing, and then a friendly discussion after that. Well, he says that he raised consular cases, including the detention of young Heng Jun, the Prime Minister. And I guess he's hopeful because he's had success in the past, for example, with our own anchor, Cheng Lei, in terms of hopefully if he keeps pushing this case, he'll get an outcome.
We will continue to advocate, as we do for Australian citizens. But I point towards the success in some cases, not as many as we would like, that we have had with the release of Australians, or the conclusion of cases, including for Cheng Lei, including from Sean Turnell from Myanmar, including the pharmacist from Cabramatta out of Vietnam, including a range of people. What we do is we advocate for Australia's interests, and there are a range of Australians, not just with China but with other countries as well, who we will continue to advocate for.
So that meeting with Xi Jinping and Keir Starmer happened at the Sheraton. That's where Anthony Albanese was kind of summoned to as well, where the Chinese president is staying. It was the first time in 6 years that a British leader had spoken to a Chinese president. Wow. So a few parallels here with the Australian situation. In 2022, you had the election, Labor government's elected, everything changes. Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, pretty hawkish when it came to China. So, I guess it's a case of history repeating itself. And this is the 10-year anniversary of the strategic partnership that Tony Abbott set up with Xi Jinping and Anthony Albanese at China and Australia now. And he made the point, Xi Jinping, in his opening remarks, that there's a turnaround now. There's been some twists and turns. So something of a reference to the Morrison era where both countries weren't talking.
10 years ago today, I was on a state visit in Australia, and on this very day, during which our two sides agreed to establish a comprehensive strategic partnership. And over the past decade, we have made some progress in China-Australia relations and also witnessed some twists and turns. That trajectory has many inspirations to offer. Now, our relations have realized a turnaround and continues to grow, bringing tangible benefits to our two peoples.
So, Laura, he flies out tomorrow, Anthony Albanese, day 2 of the summit. He'll meet the Indian leader, Narendra Modi. He hopes to make it back in time for question time on Thursday. Very jet-lagged.
You too. Andrew, we'll see you soon.